So Falcon and Winter Soldier is hitting Disney Plus in just a few days now. And so might as well look back at the first and only attempt at trying to do a Captain America live-action TV show. So we're going to look at the original two Red Brown Captain America TV movies from 1979. Alright, so a quick background about Marvel with the 70s. So instead of trying to make their characters into movies, into theatrically released movies, they were trying to make them into live-action TV shows, kind of like the Adam West Batman and the Linda Carter Wonder Woman. And so they definitely made a few, some attempts to bring them to TV. The one that worked was Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno's Hulk, which lasted for 4 or 5 seasons and 4 TV movies. So that was successful, and then there was the Spider-Man show with Nicholas Hammond, which only lasted 2 seasons, and most of that, you can't really find all the episodes because they've all been mashed into 2 TV movies, and I believe there's a third one which is lost, but yeah, though that stuff is mostly lost. And then there's the Doctor Strange show, which never even got past its pilot, and that has Lucille Bluth from Arrested Development in there.
Don't defy me, Stephen, or I'll take my pleasure from you in another way.
John Mills is the power of good. Jessica Walter is the power of evil.
So then they tried Captain America with Red Brown, and it only lasted just 2 TV movies, and they couldn't they just couldn't get a TV show off the ground for Captain America, which Red Brown explained in this interview.
Gas. We had a good time.
No, it was good because I remember I watched and there were TV movies, weren't
Yes,
they?
absolutely. TV movies, and we had a series, but Universal lost the rights to it. And when they lost the rights to it, they wanted us to do $50,000 licensing fee per episode when the Hulk was paying $2,500.
I could see why that didn't quite work out.
Ride my motorcycle around the living room.
So let's dive right into the 2 Captain America TV movies. With the first one, Captain America, which was released January of 1979, and came out almost nearly 1 month after Richard Donner's Superman. So that this had to kind of live up to that. And it really didn't.
Starring Len Berman, Heather Menzies, Steve Forrest, and Reb Brown as the star-spangled superhero Captain America.
So going right into this movie, they've taken out the entire World War II aspect of the show, and you might be thinking, so they're just skipping the World War II, and it takes place after he comes out of the ice, like what Marvel did. With Winter Soldier. No, that's not what they do. They, instead, it's basically Steve Rogers, was in the Marines, now in World War II, and, his father, I don't know if he was in World War II or not, but I'm gonna say no. But anyway, they take out the entire World War II aspect, which can be debated if it works, but yeah, anyway, it's taken out, and in this version, it's based, Steve Rogers is kind of just this guy who's on the road in his little in his van, just cruising around, just painting pictures, as explained here.
Hey, thanks, man.
You're welcome.
So then the bad guys of the film are following him for some reason. I don't know, it's never really explained why. So then, he goes down a wrong path. They trick him into going down the wrong path, and then there's an oil truck spills all this oil, and then we get to the big cartoon scene of the movie where he's just slipping on oil with his van, and that's how we're starting off this movie. And let me remind you all that this was during this aired, there was an oil crisis, so these bad guys are wasting oil. This is probably the worst trap scene ever.
Anger management issues, a couple of master assassins, and you, big fella. You've managed to piss off every single one of them. That was the plan. Not a great plan.
So then after that scene, Steve meets up with an old friend of his dad's that has been trying to contact him for a while now to talk to him about the insane project called Flag, which would make him strong, intensely strong like in the comics. But this is what he says. He's just like, no, I want to just lay back, just drive my van, paint pictures, and probably smoke weed. Yeah, that's what he does. And they want to do it on him just because they think, since he's like his dad, since he might have part of his dad's genes and stuff, that it could work because it hasn't been working on like mice they've been using. So he just says no, and so then he meets up with another friend of his dad's, and this guy named Hayden, and he's found dead at his house, and he's been murdered. Because this oil company was looking for a film print, and so yeah, and then we get introduced into our villains. This guy who's the head of an of this oil company, this guy named Brackett, and basically he wants to set off this huge neutron bomb. It's part of another project called Zeus, and what's his motivations for wanting to blow up, almost blowing up part of California? I don't know. It's not like in Superman where Lex Luthor wants to destroy all this desert land in California just because he wants to make this new city. It's never really explained why does he want to commit suicide? Never explained. So then the bad guys tell Steve to meet them at a gas station so they can ask him for the film print, even though he doesn't know where it is. And then a chase scene follows where he falls off a cliff and nearly dies. And then his motorcycle just explodes, even though the van didn't in the last scene. So then Steve is almost dying, but then Simon Mills gives him the injection, and it revives him back to life. And at this point, you can tell that now they're just taking from the $6 million man than, well, Captain America. And they even have, like, the same effect, the same noise that they play in both shows. They're obviously just taken from $6 Million Man.
Of another TV series that was popular in the 70s, The $6 Million Man. You got a hapless hero who dies in a fatal accident, and you got a scientist who revives him with a revolutionary procedure that brings him back to life as a Superman. Also, the hero of the show makes a weird sound effect whenever danger is afoot.
Not funny.
And what's screwed up is that...
So then the bad guys kidnap him from his hospital room, and they take him to this meat locker to interrogate him about the film print, which I don't really know why they even need it. It's like, it's for the neutron bomb. It's like, why do you need it? You already have a set planned bomb. I really don't get why you need it. But then he beats them all up. And then he gives a really bad James Bond one-liner. It would probably be the worst James Bond one-liner.
Tell them to hurry. I think they're getting a bad case of frostbite.
So now we get to the point where I have to bring up that Reb Brown isn't a good actor. In this film, in particular, he's not great. I've not seen the Space Mutiny movie, which has that popular Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode. And, yeah, he's not great, but I think he's better than Matt Salinger in the 1990 Captain America, because I think that guy was just, he was just a blank piece of paper. This Captain America, at least, I feel like he still has, emotions, and he does feel like a person a bit, even though he's very flat. And I do like the scene where he's acknowledging how his powers could be way too dangerous.
I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. I could hurt or kill somebody. If I move this pencil too quickly, or hold it too tightly.
But he draws him.
So then Simon takes Steve to a training field where he brings him to the van that was destroyed in the oil trap. And it's now changed into this like spy car with a motorcycle in there. And don't ask me how he would get out of there. And then we cut to the scene where Steve's on the beach with with Simon's like assistant, Wendy, who is like the second Von Trapp kid to be in a 1970s Marvel live action show. First being Nicholas Hammond in Spider-Man. And just a little trivia I wanted to throw out there. And then so then like they talk about how I didn't bring up how Hayden has a daughter named Tina, and his wife Hayden, she died in like a plane crash. Just remember that part. And so basically then Wendy is her name, the assistant, then goes up to see Tina, but then Brackett shows up just in time to find the print. So then she shows up, and then they get kidnapped by Brackett, and then something finally happens. And so finally, at the 1 hour and 14-minute mark, Captain America finally puts on the costume and actually fights. It finally, an hour in, and yes, I know for a pilot, I should give it a pass, but the entire movie he's been like, no. He just said no like about 3 times now. He said no to putting on the costume. And only one time where it was actually he had a good excuse to not be Captain America. Okay, I like this scene when he's saving the 2 girls. It's a fun corny scene. And then he just pours all this oil that looks like shit for the guards to slip on. I don't know. I know I've been saying not so great things about Reb Brown's acting in this, but the worst actor is this character named Lester, who has been helping Brackett make the bomb. He's really, really bad in this movie. This scene, when he's talking about where the girls are, which you've probably seen a lot, especially on Screen Junkies. My God, he's the worst actor in the movie.
The girls, where are they? In a room under number 2 stack. They're all right.
Get to the most boring third act in probably any Marvel movie. It's like you take the ending of The Dark Knight Rises, where when Batman's trying to get rid of the bomb, and you know how intense it is. This is the opposite of that scene, where it's just boring and there's no intense. And this comes to a biggest problem, is that there are constantly a bunch of scenes of people just driving or flying in helicopters, and especially the opening, and it's like where it's just Steve driving the van. It's really boring. And even in the scene where he's driving the helicopter, that's also just a very boring scene. It's dragged a bit. It's dragging. So yeah, that's my biggest issue with this version of Captain America, and is that it's just really boring at times. But I do like the oil factory scene when he's fighting. Like, that's really when the film is like that. And that's why Death Too Soon is better. So basically Captain America wins, fights Brackett, defuses the bomb. And then, so remember I said about how Tina's mom died in like a plane crash? So it turns out Brackett kidnapped her, and for like a year. And it's just like, so it's not even like revealed. It's like at the very end. It'd be like if Luke Skywalker found out that Darth Vader was his father at like the last scene in Return of the Jedi. It's like, why are you telling this now? The movie, it's like, this never came up. Was this like a rewrite or something? I don't know. Like, did they not want this to be too depressing? Who knows? But yeah, that's the first Captain America. This movie is just really, it's just boring. It takes a while for it to really be good. And then for some reason they changed his costume for some reason. In this movie, his costume's different. I don't get why, but like, even though at the end he gets into the real costume at the end of the movie, and he looks accurate to the real costume in Death Too Soon. But yeah, Captain America 1979, really not that great. So now let's get into Captain America 2, Death Too Soon, the better sequel.
Reb Brown, Christopher Lee, Connie Selica, and Len Berman star in this high-flying action-adventure tale as America's greatest hero battles against overwhelming odds in Captain America 2, Death Too Soon.
Captain America 2, Death Too Soon was released 11 months later after the first Captain America, 1979. And in this one, Captain America fights Count Dracula himself, Christopher Lee, as the evil Miguel.
Criminals.
Miguel? The revolutionary?
In his quest for world domination, this man plans on holding the United States hostage.
There. In 2 days, we'll have enough of Wilson's aging compound to affect that entire city.
And the woman who played Wendy in the first one is recast with a brunette in this one for some reason. I don't know. I don't think anyone even cared back in 79. So anyway, basically Miguel kidnaps the scientist who had this this chemical that can make people age in like 38 days. And basically, he threatens America with it by blackmailing the president to give him like $1 billion, and Captain America has to save the world basically, and prevent from this evil chemical from being spread all over the world. And but most of the movie takes place oddly in this town that was affected by it, and everyone there is just giving him like a really hard time about it. And yeah, like there's this romance with this woman, and yeah, as you can see, this one is more like nothing that much happens. And this one, I was a little disappointed by this one at first, but watching it again, I appreciate how it was more action packed, I guess. Because Captain America, like, the beginning of it is fun. It's like he's like saving, like he's helping this old lady who got mugged, and it's kind of fun seeing him do that. Whenever Captain America's on screen, the movie is it's fun. It's a very fun movie, but when he's not Captain America, it's just a little lame. But it's fun, I guess. It's still a fun movie. It's definitely better. Christopher Lee, my big problem is that he's not in it, or he just doesn't do much. All he does is just sit in a room, and because he has this, like, takes over a prison. I don't know, I wish we saw more of him, and his death is kind of funny when he becomes old. Though not as gruesome as Donovan's death in The Last Crusade, with his aging effect, but it's definitely one of the fun moments with Christopher Lee in this movie, because he really doesn't do that much, just sits in an office and gives out orders. It's really a letdown, because it would have been fun to see Captain America go up against Christopher Lee the entire movie, and they had more scenes together. It's just a letdown. But I don't really have that much to say. Like, it's not as bad as the first Captain America movie. I guess one thing I should point out is maybe so basically the scene when they're spreading the plane over Portland. You can obviously tell, like, when the plane's going over, it looks like it's like over a suburb, like just a suburban industrial area, and it looks nothing like a city. And then we come to Portland, Oregon, it looks nothing like, it doesn't look like they look like it was in different areas. It's very weird. You can definitely see the difference. But I don't really have that much to say, and it's just it's fun. This is what I really think it was. Since the show was not going to work out, I guess this was like a few of like the scripts that they had lying around for episodes, and I think they picked this one because maybe it was supposed to be a two-parter, and they thought, let's just turn this into let's just make this the second movie, and yeah, that's it's basically you're just watching a episode that would have been part of a TV show, and it's fun. I'm sorry, I just don't have much to say about it. It's just really not that bad as the first one. But anyway, that is the Captain America movies, the TV movies. It's definitely better than the 1990 Captain America. Captain America isn't, dumb. Like, he's not taking cars from Ned Beatty.
Hey! Captain! Are you okay? Yeah. Hold it! No, wait! Don't leave me out here!
But I highly recommend you go check them out. They're dumb, fun comic book movies from the 70s. And it's always, and again, I've always wanted to talk about old Marvel movies because it's just interesting when you look back at Marvel and just how they were really in just like not the best shape until like the 2000s when they really blew up. So yeah, those are the Captain America movies. They're very fun whenever Captain America's on. So yeah, that's all I have to say. And thank you guys very much for watching this video. Please subscribe and check out some other videos that I have on my channels and more Marvel reviews. And I promise, Phase 3 reviews are coming.